Hello and welcome to the Fruit of Grisaia, Yumiko's route. In the last episode, Yuuji had trouble sleeping, and as he discovered, well, it was not really hard to discover it, that Yumiko was trying to kiss him while he was sleeping. Obviously then discovering that she had romantic feelings for him, he allowed himself to reveal that he had feelings for her as well, and that their relationship got significantly better. We also discovered that Sakagi's father, Michiaki, was pulling more strings in to get her captured, and that a deadline was seemingly coming up for him. Let's continue. As I've grown more comfortable in my job, free time's actually gotten harder to come by. I've been attempting to do my work quietly and keep my head down, but it seems that's a rare trait among youngsters these days, earning me unintended recognition from my superiors. And I ended up being promoted to the supervisor of a small work team with 5 to 6 men. Normally this would be something worth celebrating, but right now the goal is not to stand out, even in good ways. We may have to consider moving to a different location if I start getting ahead in life despite myself. My few days off are often spent on chores and housework. It's mainly cleaning and washing, stockpiling basic preservable food, and investigating the area as precaution for the worst case scenario. Lots of housewife-style labor, except for the last one. Yumiko helps out as well, of course, but the girl had a pretty sheltered upbringing. I'm getting the idea she isn't naturally dexterous either. Even pretty simple jobs tend to give us some trouble. In any case, we began our work early in the morning today, and according to routine, it's roughly 2 in the afternoon by the time we've finished. Yumiko? What? Is that book really that interesting? Having wrapped up my work for the day, I inquire about the novel Yumiko's been reading intently. Well, what about that map of yours? You've been rather engrossed in it yourself. I think the reason for that should be pretty obvious. Yes, I suppose. I'm going over our potential escape routes in case of emergency. Hard to say how practically useful repeatedly reviewing this will prove, but it's got to be better than doing nothing at all. Currently, we nestled ourselves down in the home turf of the West Tsutomu Railway Company, a bitter enemy of the East Beach Group since the pre-war era. It's safe to say Sakagi Michiaki won't openly be looking for cooperation in resolving his family squabble. He's not eager to show corporate rivals any signs of weakness. East Beach will tread lightly around here. This low-lying area of eastern Tokyo is particularly dense and tangled, and we're keeping a very low profile. I doubt private detectives will be able to track us down that easily. But since this location's ideal, it might stand out as a possibility to a competent investigator. Tracing a number of lines along our escape routes, I picture the movements of enemies who haven't yet materialized. Well, I'm just flipping through this to kill time. I don't find it particularly engaging. That's so. Thought I saw you smiling a little, though. Couldn't help it. The mystery was just too ridiculous. I knew the criminal from the moment they appeared. That's impressive. I'm not under the illusion that I completely understand Yumiko, but just because we're in a relationship now, but I didn't think her instincts were that good. Would you like to read it as well? You just said it was ridiculous, didn't you? Or is the book more suitable for general audiences? I'm not sure why you decided I'm outside that category, but it's a very, very well constructed novel. It's just that if I had spent money to purchase it, I probably would have hurled it at a wall by now. What are you talking about? Instead of a response, she silently pushes open the book in front of my face. There's a very neat line under the name of a character who's just made their entrance. It leads to a note reading "Criminal." Guess that's how it goes with library books sometime. Still, what a nasty little prank to pull. Sorry about that. It's hardly anything for you to apologize for, is it? I should have flipped through it first, but the book had a pretty good reputation, so I figured it'd be alright. I won't make the same mistake again. Promise. Reading is virtually the only entertainment available to Yumiko under our current circumstances. I feel genuinely bad about letting someone ruin it for her like this. What? Something to say? So you were actually looking into the reputation and all that? Yeah, for what it's worth.
Might as well read something decent if you're going to read, right?
If only you were so considerate about other things.
Like what?
Oh, never mind. Currently deflecting the question, Yumiko again returns to focus to the novel.
Yumiko?
What?
You sure you're not enjoying that book?
Why do you keep asking?
No reason.
Well, honestly, it's because you seem to be in a good mood for some reason.
Maybe that note was actually a prank or red herring, and you just hit some clever twist in the plot you never saw coming.
Oh please, my review would begin with a yawn, followed by a sigh.
Thought you said it wasn't bad.
Well, this is my second time through it.
Not much point hunting for foreshadowing then.
In that case, what's she enjoying so much?
I don't get it at all. While we're talking, mind if I make one small observation?
What is it now?
Wasn't sure whether I should mention this, but you're weighing me down, Yumiko, in a physical sense.
Yumiko's been using my lap as a reading chair for some time now. I'm not just talking about today either. Ever since our physical relationship began, she's made a habit of unceremoniously plopping herself down on top of me to read her books, not bothering to ask for permission first. Come to think of it, I suppose this would be the only thing that's really changed about the daily routine after we made love. Yumiko wasn't quite satisfied with the explanation I offered regarding my romantic history, so I've been quietly letting her do as she pleases, but this seemed like a good opportunity to finally say something. Put up with it.
Alright.
With this brief reply, my objection is completely eliminated. Hey.
Yeah?
Is it a bother after all?
Is what a bother?
That I'm doing this? But only a few moments later, Yumiko halts his expression and gives way to something a great deal more uneasy.
No, doesn't really bother me.
But you just said I'm heavy, didn't you?
I was thinking it might be a good opportunity to ask why you're always sitting on me, come to think of it. I guess it actually feels a little pleasant, if anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, really.
This childish line of questioning prompts a sudden realization.
I thought you'd been laying on the overbearing attitude a little thick lately. Maybe you were just trying to hide your embarrassment.
The girl doesn't respond, but her face makes me think I might have hit the bullseye. So then, Yumiko's been bluffing all this time, acting confident to cover up her timidity, watching my reactions out of the corner of her eye, secretly swinging back and forth between happiness and fear. Yeah! By the time my thoughts get this far, I'm already petting Yumiko's head.
Sorry about that.
Determined to give the charming little coward some reassurance, I ignore her abashed expression and repeat the motion. Yuuji?
Whoa.
What's wrong?
Well, that's the first time you called me that in a while.
That day I made one request of Yumiko. She'd become an irreplaceable individual to me, so I asked her to use my name just as I use hers. Yumiko hasn't called me Kasami-kun since then, but I guess the alternative still felt a little awkward. She mostly dodged the issue by using pronouns. I wasn't really upset or anything, but I have to admit it made me feel a little lonesome at times. So you actually noticed?
Was it deliberate?
Well, I mean, you might have gotten carried away back then. I was afraid you'd grimace at me if I tried it after things were back to normal.
You really think I'd do something that cruel?
You didn't have any problems talking about other women in front of me.
My apologies. You're right, I am a heartless monster.
Can't believe I didn't even notice how much all this was bothering her. In retrospect, maybe JB was somewhat justified in referring to me as a menace to all womankind. You haven't slept with me since then either.
Well, that was just... You're still a beginner, so I was trying not to be too pushy.
Then why haven't you even kissed me?
Because I wouldn't be able to stop myself.
Fine by me.
What?
Your concern isn't necessary. I do more than enough pointless worrying for the both of us, thank you very much.
You're one high-handed woman.
I don't deny it. She lets the word fly carelessly. The cool-headed Yumiko I used to know is still there, but these hints of anxiety and flashes of newfound boldness in the mix, somehow or other she's turning into an undeniably cute young lady.
So in other words, you're up for it?
No, don't touch me. I'll never forgive you.
What? No good after all?
Control yourself until tonight. It's still mid-afternoon.
Why do we have to wait until tonight?
If we start doing it in the middle of the day, I won't be able to control myself either. I
fail to see why that's a problem.
I want to take a bath first.
A bath, is it?
We have to economize on the water bill as well, so we restricted ourselves to a single bath at night each. Normally I'd just tell her to get in right now, but under the current circumstances it's a legitimate reason for the delay. When I'm showing myself to you, Yuuji, I'd like to be convinced that I'm at my best. Maybe because of all that reading she's been doing a lot lately, Yumiko phrases this in an oddly poetic way. Well, it's definitely an in-character sort of thought either way.
You're still the same old Yumiko at heart, aren't you?
Yes, that's right. I'm pointlessly proud of as always. Do you have any complaints?
Nope.
A wry smile spreads across my face. Suppose I'll have to respect Yumiko's wishes on this one.
Alright then, tonight it is.
And once again we fall silent and return to our idle reading time. Oh, such was the plan. What's with you?
Not sure what you're talking about.
Is that map really so interesting?
Of course not, it's just a map.
So I assume, but it looked like you were smiling a little. I see. Suddenly I understand why Yumiko's been in such a good mood all this time.
That's got nothing to do with the map. It's a natural side effect of having you next to me.
I see, that's coincidence. I've been suffering from similar symptoms. It's not easy to put in words, but right now I feel fulfilled. Every day is happy enough that I half expect things to fall apart catastrophically at any moment, just as JB keeps warning they might. But for now, so long as the situation remains stable, I want to try and enjoy our time together, for Yumiko's sake as well as mine. She's never had much in the way of ordinary happiness. Surely God won't mind her indulging a little sweetness now that she finally has the chance. With that argument as a shield, I try my best to erase the ever-present trickle of anxiety from my mind.
Sorry about that.
In the drowsy, peaceful time after, I quietly apologize. Yumiko stirs slightly against my arm, currently serving as a pillow. About what?
Seems I'm pretty dense when it comes to subtleness. It's always been a weakness of mine, but I ended up making you anxious over nothing.
It's alright, I'm aware. I wasn't expecting much from you in the first place.
I see.
Don't get too relieved. Deep down I was still hoping for more.
Right.
Yumiko's real thoughts leak out in a cute little mutter. I have to stifle a wry laugh. I mean, this was the first real day off we had together since this relationship started, you know?
Is that right?
Yes, it is. You have no idea just how nervous I've been since yesterday, do you?
I've got a lot of things to apologize for.
No, you can keep those to yourself.
Oh? Why?
Because I'm the one who should really be apologizing. The words slip quietly from Yumiko's mouth. I don't know what exactly she's remembering right now, but still...
You don't have a thing to be sorry for, Yumiko, as I think I've said once or twice already.
Yes.
Not a single thing. We're both here because we chose to be. Am I wrong?
No. Yumiko nods slightly. Thank you.
That's better. Apologizing doesn't suit you, Yumiko. Gratitude works much better. And venomous insults best of all.
You could have skipped that last part.
Just a joke.
With a sense of humor like that, maybe you shouldn't be criticizing me. Your banter is lethally terrible.
My apologies.
Also, I really wish you wouldn't tease me ruthlessly at every opportunity.
Sorry, can't help myself.
Before this troubling line of conversation can go any further, I abruptly change the topic.
Hey Yumiko, there's a place you want to go?
Huh?
Now that I think about it, we haven't really gone out together yet. I mean, it's probably going to be a little difficult while we're living like this, but I'd still like to know. Something wrong?
You really have to know, no matter what? Her voice is bashful, but also oddly reproachful.
What's the problem?
Promise you won't laugh?
Is it that ridiculous a place?
Yumiko pushes herself off the futon and... There's some reason you're wringing my neck. Oh, wrong voice, sorry.
There's some reason you're wringing my neck?
Well, it's not like she's really strangling me. Yet. Yumiko's fingers are twined gingerly around my neck in a somewhat menacing fashion. That's all. I think you know the answer to that question.
Come on, don't you trust me at all?
Not when it comes to your sense of humor.
Don't look so concerned. I'm not going to mock you for being a little embarrassed. Come on, where do you want to go? Let's hear it.
An amusement park.
Wow! Huh?
You're dead. I'm going to kill you. Even in the dark room, I can clearly see Yumiko's face go bright red. Her eyebrows arch violently as her face filled with tears. Also, she's strangling me. On the whole, I'm getting the impression she might be slightly upset. Ouch.
Come on, the idea of you in an amusement park is just... Ow!
Yes, I know, pathetic, isn't it? It must sound like a woman starved for familial love playing up how pitiful she is. But I can't help it, alright? I want to go. I've never been to one. I've never been... not even once.
Yumiko.
I recall the story she told me under the bridge that rainy summer evening. For years she clung desperately to her quote-unquote family, only to be betrayed again and again. In the end, the girl gave up on all her hopes. She armed her body and mind with blades against the hostile world. But right now, Yumiko's found someone she can believe in, or at least she's trying very hard to convince herself that she has. And what she wants most from that person, from me, is exactly what her family couldn't give her. Laughing at that was a bit much, even as a joke.
Yeah, alright.
Huh?
Let's go to an amusement park.
Really?
Yeah. Don't know when we'll be able to pull it off, but I'll make it happen. That's a promise as well.
Yuuji!
Hey, how about a little warning before you jump all over me?
Yumiko throws herself against me like an excited child. I'm sorry for strangling you.
Not a problem. I had it down as Yumiko-style cuddling. Hey, don't lick my neck.
I thought I'd kiss it and make it better. Mwah.
Really, it tickled. Cut it out.
Yuuji. Two people who had always been alone slowly moved closer to each other, seeking out something they'd been missing. It was a very happy time. But even so, the stress of a life constantly one misstep from disaster would gradually take its toll. And Yumiko and I were too distracted by those intoxicating moments of happiness to notice it creeping up on us. I don't know what time it is, and I don't really care. More accurately, I don't have the energy to care. I smash asphalt and cart off the rubble like some sort of convict. I carry earth and sand around like a mindless machine, and at the end of the day, I'm paid chicken feed. Since that became my daily routine, those moments of temporal disorientation have gotten pretty common. Never happened to me before. There was usually a very precise schedule to follow at my old job, so I've always been alert to the passing of time. I was genuinely surprised to see that part of me change. Living in an unfamiliar world really is exhausting. Maybe it's because I was musing about these things.
Damn, I forgot to buy ingredients for dinner.
Huh?
I knew I had to pick something up right until I actually got to the shopping street, but the mental note I made to myself after checking the fridge this morning just fell right out of my mind at some point. Of course, the instant I got home and saw Yumiko's face, it popped right back in. I'll go back and pick something up right away.
You don't have to do that. You're tired, right?
I won't deny it, but my condition doesn't necessarily have any bearing on the situation. I've been trained to use my judgment to produce optimal results under any given set of circumstances.
Can you rephrase that a little more concisely?
I'm hungry, but there's nothing to eat. Therefore, I'm going shopping.
I'll go.
You, Yumiko?
What's with the dubious? Can you really handle that expression?
Well, can you?
There's a great deal about this idea that makes me nervous. You're too soft on a woman who can't even do housework properly, Yuuji.
Putting my supposed softness aside for the moment, stop insulting the woman I love. What's wrong? Your face is red.
You think I'm stupid enough to be thrown off by your shallow sweet talk? Nice try, but you're not fooling me.
I wasn't really trying to fool you, but Can you at least decide if you're happy or angry?
When you snarl at me like with that mushy expression on your face, it's hard to know how to react. In any case, it's just a shopping trip. Even a child can handle that.
Depends on how they've been raised. Look, Yumiko, I'm not saying you can't handle it. I just don't want to force you to do things you might not be cut out for.
Telling a woman she's not cut out for household chores is one step below a death sentence. Flexible gender roles are all well and good, but that's just the way of the world. I'm a little hurt.
That's not what I meant. I'm sure you could pick up housework if you would put your mind to it, Yumiko. Just feel like you're rushing things. Why not get used to it little by little?
You're saying I can't even manage a single shopping trip as I am now?
Interacting with strangers isn't exactly your strong point. Remember the time you stood frozen for 30 minutes trying to pick out a single crepe?
After wavering indecisively over what to buy, the girl got so self-conscious that she couldn't even flee. Never seen anything like that. I mean, I doubt it's always that bad, but seriously, how can you not be a little uneasy about this? Then again, maybe that's part of the reason Yumiko wants to do this so badly. It's a chance to overcome one of her weaknesses.
Alright. In that case, at least let me come along.
That's not necessary. Also, it would completely defeat the purpose of me doing it.
Yeah, but...
You are tired, aren't you?
Don't worry about it. It's not severe enough to be a problem.
I'll be the one to decide that, thank you very much.
I think I want to call the shots when it comes to my own party, at least.
You?
What? I didn't catch that.
Am I not allowed to worry about you, Yuuji?
Yumiko looks up at me with a suddenly sulky expression.
A stab of guilt runs through me. If the girl's doing this deliberately, she's a frighteningly good manipulator. But of course, I'm perfectly aware Yumiko's not capable of such skillful self-control. Well, do you want me to mind my own business? Is that it? Am I smothering you?
No, I'm happy that you're worried about me.
So what then? You can't trust me?
There's no one alive I trust as much as you, Yumiko. It's true.
So there's someone who isn't alive?
Okay, I think you're officially going overboard on the jealousy.
And I'm definitely enjoying it too much. It's only a shopping trip, for goodness sake.
Well, yes, but... What's wrong?
I don't want to just be a burden on you, Yuuji. For a moment I'm at a loss for words, but...
Has that been on your mind? Sorry to disappoint, but I've never thought of you as a burden. Not even once.
Sounds like you're trying to convince yourself.
Stop putting the worst possible spin on everything. It's not a lie. That said, I can see where you're coming from. I messed up on this one.
How so?
I was being overprotective. Understandable that you misunderstood. It was clearly my mistake.
Alright, I suppose we'll leave it at that.
Thanks, Yumiko. You're all heart.
I'm nothing compared to you. Seems we're finally back to the somewhat prickly status quo.
I'll be honest with you. Right now, I'm pretty damn exhausted both physically and mentally. Once I sit down, I don't think I'm going to get back up again for a while.
It's that bad?
I can handle the cooking, but just thinking about walking around is depressing. Could I ask for your help, Yumiko?
1 second, I'll go get a pen and paper.
Yeah, appreciate it.
As she hunts noisily for a notepad, Yumiko's eye seems noticeably brighter than before. I laugh wryly to myself, too quietly for her to hear. I know I'm being a little indulgent, but I'm not Yumiko's guardian and she's not my ward. We're partners. I want to respect her opinion and work through our disagreements as equals. Of course, as long as we're fugitives, that pretty ideal won't always be possible. There are going to be times when she'll have to do what I say. I'm just more experienced and knowledgeable when it comes to self-preservation. But as for today, I just walked through the shopping street and performed my normal observations. Tired as I may be, I'm confident I would have noticed anything strange. And more than that, there's a purely selfish reason I want to let her go. It feels nice relying on Yumiko and being relied on in return. Simple as that. Well then, I'll be heading out.
Alright. What's wrong? Weren't you leaving?
The goodbye? It's nothing.
Oh, I get it.
As Yumiko tries to slide past me, I seize her arm gently, then pull her into an embrace. No, that's not what I... Before she can object, I push my mouth against hers. After a good long while, I finally pulled back.
Was I wrong?
You were weren't wrong. Yumiko reflexively starts to deny it, but tapers off cutely into the truth. I'll be going then.
Why so meek all of a sudden?
You're imagining things.
I'll be waiting. Watch your back out there, alright?
Yes, I know.
Phew. After seeing Yumiko off, I sit down heavily on the spot. The overcooked muscles on my back age dully. My neck, shoulders, arms, legs are as heavy as lead. I exhale deeply, pushing all of the air out of my lungs. It's been a while since I quit my initial public works constructing job. Couldn't help getting too familiar with the place, ended up standing out more than I wanted to. Since then, I've been regularly changing employers, deliberately going for more short-term work. Downside is that I can't get used to any one job. The exhaustion's been building up quietly for a while now. My body will probably adapt to this lifestyle eventually, but it's definitely going to take some time. Well, guess I just have to keep at it.
Even resisting gravity seems like a complete nuisance right now. I let myself collapse to the floor. Once Yumiko gets back, it'll be time to make dinner. Until then, I might as well relax a little. I flop over onto my side to get comfortable and then push myself back off the ground.
Come on, Yumiko.
My eyes focus on a small object lying on top of our low dining table.
How are you planning to pay without your purse?
What an idiotic blunder.
You're still beating yourself up over that?
Well, I ended up wasting both our time, didn't I?
There's no point in dwelling on this. Let's put it behind us.
I suppose. Yumiko's been like this ever since I delivered the purse she forgot earlier. Well, I understand it's because she feels genuinely guilty, but still. I was only trying to be less of a burden, but...
Like I said, you're not a burden to me, and it made me happy that you tried to help.
But...
I know you were concerned about me, Yumiko. That's what counts.
Yuuji.
Let's sleep. I've got work tomorrow and all, you know.
Right. After Yumiko nods in agreement, I slide into my bedding. It annoys me that I can't find anything better to say. A few clever words could probably cheer Yumiko up, maybe even get her laughing about this. I'm doing the best I can, but my own clumsiness makes me wince. Wish to hell I could trade my natural talent at being a sarcastic ass for the ability to comfort her.
Might be time to start thinking about what comes next.
When I analyze the situation calmly, right now I'm physically and mentally exhausted. I'm very near to the limits of my endurance. However, that's absolutely not because Yumiko's burdening me down. It's because Yumiko's at my side that I'm able to keep struggling forward. That's genuinely how I feel.
That's a pretty decent line, isn't it?
Alright, I have to try and work that one into a conversation tomorrow at some point. Even as the thoughts running through my mind, I'm starting to slip into the darkness. Oh, I know. Why don't I give you a massage at least? Yuuji? No way, he's already asleep. He must have been completely exhausted. If only I could be more of a help. Yuuji, No, I can't say that, can I?
Okay, I've got to get going.
Right, have a good day at work.
There's a good chance of rain this afternoon. Might end up coming back a little earlier than after the usual.
Is that how it works?
Probably. Depends on what we're doing at the site and how bad the weather is.
Okay, got it.
Right.
What is it?
Forgetting anything?
Like what?
The goodbye?
Oh, just get going already.
I see. Alright then. Bye.
Honestly. Mwah. I'm a completely pathetic excuse for a woman, aren't I? Not only do I constantly make Yuuji worry, I can't even manage to show him a little support. The weather's nice today. Just you wait and see, Yuuji. I'll show you I'm more than a gloomy lump of woman who needs to be cheered up all the time. I'll be more than a match for you in no time. Brace yourself. Yumiko, you did all this? Yes, that's right. You've been looking tired lately, but perhaps I shouldn't have bothered. Don't be ridiculous. In fact, I'm overjoyed. I had no idea you'd become such a fine woman. This isn't all. I've still got more surprises up my sleeve.
I see. In that case, I expect great things of you.
Yuuji,
Yumiko?
if you have the time to put on a cringe-worthy one-woman show like this, maybe you should just get started already. Cooking, cleaning, and the laundry too. I'm not just a problem to worry about. I can help out as well. First off, the cooking. Well, I suppose I'll have to see what we have in the fridge before anything else. Okay, but what should I make? Yuji's pretty thorough about this sort of thing, so we got a full range of ingredients. I should have had Yuji borrow me a cookbook or something. If I still had my cell phone, I could search for recipes on the internet, but I did make that meat and potato stew in home easy once, didn't I? Okay, let's go with that. I'll have to wash the vegetable first. Potatoes, carrots. Come to think of it, I suppose we don't have a peeler. Yuji always just uses the kitchen knife. All this with a kitchen knife? Don't think about it, just move your hands. Right, that's the basic principle. But still, I wonder if I can really pull this off. It felt less like peeling and more like I was shaving them down, but I suppose it'll have to do. Can't let it get to me. Right, confident is what matters. This'll work just fine. I'll just take these and cut them up into nice sized chunks. Add the soy sauce and mirin and then cover up with a drop lid. Phew, I think that's roughly how it went. Hopefully it comes out tasty. I suppose I can do something else while I wait.
Oh, Yumiko.
Don't do that. When vacuuming, make sure not to forget the corners of the room. This coat is rather short. I wonder if there's anything to be done about that. Oh, the laundry's finished. I read the instructions carefully, so that should have gone fairly smoothly, I expect. Right, I should set it out to dry before I forget about it. The underwear's twisted out of shape. Come to think of it, I think Susan told me underwear should be hand washed to avoid damage. I should have listened a little more carefully. Alright, hang up the trousers and then... Yuji's shirt is all frayed. Did I wash it incorrectly? Alright, let's just do what we can.
Oh no.
Here it is. I knew we had a sewing set somewhere. I've never really used it before, so I ended up having to turn the room upside down just to find it. I'll have to clean it up later. The needle goes through the cloth surprisingly easily. Ow! This isn't anything worth whimpering about. I'll be able to handle it all soon enough. Cooking, cleaning, laundry, even sewing, and... Ow! What's that? Do I smell something strange? The pot? Oh, what a stupid mistake. I completely forgot. It smells just a little burnt, but let's see how the... Ouch! How clumsy of... What? Oh, for crying out loud. I try to do a little sewing and I end up stabbing my finger. The food in the pot gets burned. When I try to take the droplet off, it's incredibly hot. The moment I pull my hand back, I knock against the shelf. Half of our tableware falls to the ground and shatters. When I cool my hand at the faucet, the burning cuts sting like crazy. Anybody would be around ready to cry about now. Huh? Rain? Oh no, I left the laundry out. I just dried that. I've got to get it all inside before... Yeah! Ow! Tripped myself on the vacuum cleaner cord. The tea on the table spilled all over the place, so the laundry's all soggy. The room's all soggy too. What the heck? After all that time and effort, I didn't accomplish a single thing. I just wanted to help Yuji. Just wanted to be less of a burden. But I couldn't do a thing. No matter what I tried, I just ended up dragging him down. Maybe He'd be better off if I just disappeared.
Yumiko! I burst into the room, not pausing to take off my shoes. The scene inside confirms my worst fears. The dim, shadowy apartment has been completely transformed since this morning. In the kitchen I can make out shattered tableware and clothes scattered all over the place. The living room space is comparatively undisturbed, but the lingering scent of something burnt in the air feeds the storm of panic swirling through my mind. Those bastards, how did they track us down?
Yuuji?
Yep.
Yumiko, you're safe. Relief washes over me as my eyes find Yumiko cowering in the middle of the room.
Safe? What?
They were here, weren't they?
They?
The room's a complete disaster. They must have been here. I'm amazed you were able to resist. You're always surprising me, Yumiko.
Huh? Yuuji, you're all wet?
Yeah, it's pouring out there. I did have an umbrella, but I dropped it when I saw that the light wasn't on in here. Not like you'd be going out in this weather. I knew something had to be wrong. Still, those people should have been able to carry you off if they wanted to. Did they deliberately let you walk? What's the game here?
You're wrong.
I'm wrong? About what?
This isn't, anything like that. I was doing housework.
Housework?
Yes.
Housework? I turn around and take in the scene once more. Don't be ridiculous, Yumiko. It looks like someone was fighting off a burglar in here. Housework couldn't possibly produce a disaster scene like this.
Normally, no, it couldn't, but... When I'm involved, it's a different story.
It's more than a little hard to believe, but from the miserable look on Yumiko's face, it's clear enough that she's telling the truth. It's also clear just how hurt she is. The way I jumped to conclusions certainly didn't help at all. I quietly cursed myself for making a bad situation even worse. I see. In that case, let's start by cleaning up the room.
It's alright. I'm the one who made the mess. You're probably tired, aren't you?
You're not the only one. I came running in here wearing my wet shoes, see? Just look at those footprints.
I'll take care of those too.
Won't take us long if we work together.
Well, that's true, but...
And more importantly, Yumiko, I want to help you, whenever and however I can, alright? This last argument seems to finally do the trick. Yumiko makes no further attempt to object. Okay then, let's get this cleaned up right away.
I'm sorry.
We got a broken glass here. That's dangerous.
I'll clean that up.
No, it's fine. Oh.
Yuuji!
I cut the tip of my finger against a shard of glass like a complete idiot. I'm physically worn out, so my fingers were trembling a bit, and I was moving a little too quickly to keep Yumiko from touching it. Still, a pretty pathetic slip-up by any standard. Don't worry, it's fine. Got clumsy and scratched myself. Nothing serious.
Yuuji, you're hurt.
It's really not that big a deal. Considering how hurt Yuuji was in Makina's storyline where he literally lost an arm. And given that was the good ending. Well, I suppose it is a spoiler, but in the bad ending, he goes all out. And, he was also hurt in Amanda's story, actually, to come to think of it. It's only so far been in Sachi's and in Michiru's routes that Yuuji hasn't been the target, so to say. Right, let's get back to it. Sorry about that, I was just reminiscing. It's all my fault. Are you listening to me? Whoa. Without a word, she buries her face against my chest. The sound of the rain outside our dark little room seems to grow louder. It feels as if the relentless drumming isn't just filling my ears but also clouding my vision. Like that day when she cowered at the thunder, Yumiko clings to me firmly, her body still and rigid as a stone. What's wrong? Bring back a bad memory or something? Yumiko? I can hear a faint sound, almost stifled sobbing. But I don't think Yumiko would get so upset over something this minor. Well, no, maybe I just don't want to believe it. I wrap an arm around her shoulders and wait quietly for the storm to pass. Alright, let's eat.
Thank you for the food. Yumiko sits across the dinner table, her shoulders still slumped miserably. Her long hair falls like a shadow across her downcast face.
Come on, it's not anything worth brooding over like this. Okay, I'll leave it alone. So just eat your dinner. It's good.
I'm sorry.
For what?
Lots of things.
Well, you don't have to be. I'm feeling more grateful than anything else.
Huh?
It made me happy what you tried to do today. The results don't change that. Also, you're pretty convinced you failed, but this meat stew is seriously good. Hell of a lot better than the dull stuff I'm always making. Even with that alone, you could call this a success.
That alone? I think there were a number of other things worth mentioning.
That's just how it goes with housework sometimes. No need to let it get to you.
I'm well aware that I'm not even being particularly coherent right now. Even so, I care a hell of a lot more about Yumiko than a few broken plates. She's the whole reason I'm here. The whole reason I was able to break away from that meaningless, empty life as someone else's dog. All of a sudden, the words I decided to say last night popped back into my head.
Yumiko, you said you don't want to be a burden on me, right?
Yes?
Not to repeat myself, but you got it all backward. It's only because you're with me that I can keep going. Thank you.
It might have been easier if you chastised me.
Don't talk nonsense. I don't have anything to chastise you for.
Right, of course you'd say that, Yuuji. Yumiko smiles awkwardly, but there's still more than a hint of gloom in her eyes. We're both trying our best to help each other. We both care about each other very much. I know all that. I know all this disconnect is the product of the exhaustion and stress that come with living as fugitives. Even so, I can't help feeling guilty. Maybe Yumiko wouldn't be looking this sad right now if I wasn't so incompetent. Maybe we wouldn't be hiding like rats if I wasn't such a worthless piece of trash. But just thinking about those thoughts is an insult to the woman who believes in me. I push the black pessimism out of my mind with an effort of will. Our room's silent except for the intolerable droning of the rain. No matter how long we wait, it doesn't give the slightest sign of stopping any time soon. And that's where we'll end this episode. So it was a bit of a slow episode. Not a lot of action happening. But I feel that it was an episode where a lot of character development was happening. And moreover, I feel that not only for Yumiko, but also for Yuuji. And while with the Yuuji part might not be as obvious, I think it's worth taking into account that these characters aren't just two-dimensional. Even though it's a visual novel and they are on the screen and so they are two-dimensional there, but the characters are more than that. And to me, at least, I don't know if anyone else feels like this, but to me at least, it feels like the characters... Well, at first, the characters comes off as very tropey. Obviously, because that's a good way to keep readers enticed, like, what kind of stupid thing will Michiru pull off next? Or how will Sachi go into and misunderstand something next? Or how will Amane get undressed and embarrass Yuuji? Or so on and so forth. And that's the first look at the Fruit of Grisaia and the series as a whole. But you don't have to dig very far in each character to get more than just that. And that's, along with what I think is generally a pretty good story. Something that is worth taking in. Also, just as a last episode, if you wish to help me out, you can do so by going to the link posted in the description below this video and vote for what visual novel I should be doing next, as The Fruit of Grisaia is coming to a close. There are plenty of options on there and you can select as many of them as you want, so if any of the titles seem interesting to you, or if you haven't heard of them and just think, well, this could be a good idea for something of a series that I could pull off, give it a vote. And, well, if you have friends who like this kind of thing, share the video. let them know about me as a YouTuber. And I would really appreciate that. Anyway, that has been it for this episode. So until next time, take care.